let's have few questions with answers regarding the launching and landing of spacecraft. Now, why is launching a spacecraft to the moon more challenging than launching to the Earth's orbit? This can be the first question. Now, launching a spacecraft to the moon is more challenging due to the higher energy requirements. To escape Earth's gravity and reach the moon, a spacecraft needs to achieve a higher velocity than for Earth's orbit. This requires a large amount of propellant and more powerful rockets. The next question is, what is a lunar landing module? Okay, a lunar landing module is a spacecraft designed to transport astronauts or robotic payloads to the moon and safely land them. It typically consists of two main parts: the descent stage, which slows the module down for landing, and the ascent stage, which carries the astronaut or samples back to the lunar orbit. How does a spacecraft achieve lunar orbit after launch from Earth? That's a very important question. Now, after launching the spacecraft, it goes through a series of stages to achieve a lunar orbit. It performs the translunar injection burn, which increases its velocity and trajectory to intersect with the moon's orbit. Once the moon is in vicinity, further steps are executed to enter a stable lunar orbit. What is the lunar descent phase? Okay, so to answer this question, the lunar descent phase refers to the part of lunar mission. When a spacecraft approaches the moon surface for landing, during this phase, the descent stages, engines are fired to slow down the spacecraft, allowing it to land safely on the lunar surface. Now, how do spacecrafts navigate and control their descent to the lunar surface? So this is another important question. Now, spacecrafts used on board sensors, cameras, and computer systems to navigate and control their descent. Radar and terrain mapping systems help determine the spacecraft's altitude and distance from the lunar surface, enabling the precise control of landing the process. Now, what are the major challenges of landing on the moon? This is another important question. Now, to answer this question, landing on the moon presents challenges such as the lack of significant atmosphere for the aerodynamics, braking, the needs for precise navigation and control, the rise of hazardous terrain, and potential for communication delays due to the distance between Earth and Moon. The next important question is, how do astronauts and equipments return from the lunar surface? How do they return from the moon? To answer this question, to return from the lunar surface to Earth, astronauts use the ascent stage of the lunar module. After launching from the moon's surface, the ascent stage performs a reverse and docking with the command module in the lunar orbit. From there, the crew transfers back to the command module for the journey back to the Earth. Now, why do spacecrafts launch from moon surface differently than from Earth? Okay, so the launch process has to be different. The moon's low gravity, which is about 1/6 of that of Earth, and the lack of atmosphere, they affect the spacecraft launch. Because of the weaker gravity, less propellant is needed to launch from the moon. And additionally, the absence of atmosphere, it eliminates the need for aerodynamic considerations during the launch. Now, next question would be, how have recent advances in technology impacted lunar landing? To answer this question, the recent advancements have led to the improved landing precision through better navigation systems, autonomous hazard detection, and terrain mapping advancements in materials. The propellant systems and communication technologies, all of these things have enabled more efficient and capable lunar landers. What are the primary goals of future lunar landing missions? Future lunar landing missions aim to establish sustainable human presence on the moon, which seems to be practically impossible, conduct scientific research, explore resources like water, ice, and so as a stepping stone for the future. Deep exploration, including missions to Mars and beyond. And to our surprise, India has already successfully launched and successfully landed a spacecraft on the moon's south pole, which is called as Chandrayaan-3, and it has certainly made its mark, and it has certainly made its milestone